broke ass.
Answer. Because you are that, you are capable. You are gifted, and you are soon to be opinionated. It's okay to be different. And it's so okay to just be. The world awaits to receive you.
I could not be here breathing and be comfortable if I was really as bad as they was making it. You know, nobody could be around me. So for me to be this calm, I must have some kind of inner peace. And my inner peace is knowing that once everybody take the time to really see what type of person I am, you'd be surprised that I stuck around this long. I have to make the life that I do live as happy as I can and try to do the best with what I have. You know, live the best life I can live, be as happy as I can be. Nothing is perfect for anybody. I don't know.
Boys, I swear, I think I figured it out. You know why they don't want us redneck brothers and sisters and the hood brothers and sisters getting along? You know why? Because we'd be unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, we would shut shit down.
Yes, we will shut shit down. Blessings, blessings. Welcome to Uncensored Enlightenment Talk. And you're here with your host, Grace Levi. The first thing I want to do is give a shout out to the first person that's in the building. Shout out to Foxy Roxy. Check out her YouTube page. Blessings, everyone. Today we have an action-packed night. We're not going to only talk about what's going on in Harvey, but I want to present some things to you. Blessings to you, Bones. Blessings, get in the audience, guys, and with the conversation flowing. The first thing I do want to talk about is just kind of a follow-up on the last video that I did where I was getting cursed out by Miss Trina. And, you know, I find it pleasantly amusing in the tragedy that it was. But as I stated, everybody should be able to express themselves, give their opinions, and us also on YouTube have to be able to communicate effectively in a manner that we can work with each other no matter what. So whatever y'all saw, as y'all see, I have no hard feelings towards Trina, and that is that. But as I stated, just before I started, I was getting this live together, I came across this tragic event that has something to do with YouTubers beef. So I just wanted to show that to you guys. Shout out to Foxy Roxy. You already know this is something very important that we should talk about, because these type of YouTube beefs and issues sometimes can lead to tragedy. So let's just play this real quick. YouTube fraud turned deadly. So I don't know the backstory behind this, but I do know 2 YouTubers are unalived by another YouTuber. Okay, so let's play this real quick.
Heartbreaking news. Real life tragedy struck in Vegas over a YouTube feud. On June 9th, 2 people were shot and killed outside a Las Vegas strip resort. The victims were Arizona-based YouTuber FINNY Legend and his wife, known as BUBBLY. Police identified the accused shooter as Manuel Ruiz, another YouTuber. Here's the live footage.
All right, that's a little tragic. I didn't know that they had that clip in there, but this is something that we really have to talk about. Okay, guys, sometimes these YouTube beefs and some of the topics we talk about can lead to events like this. Let's just watch the news broadcast real quick, and then we could talk about it a little bit. Let me put this other video up here. This is serious, because we have to learn how to draw the line. We have to learn if we can't work together to stay apart.
The shooting happening in such a populated area, concerns are being raised, especially on social media. Some claiming Las Vegas is no longer a safe place to visit. But is that really the case? 8 News Now reporter James Schaefer joining us live from the Strip with what the numbers show. James?
Before we get into the story, we want to warn you that you are going to see video from that shooting on Sunday in our story this evening. But let's answer that question. So far this year, police have reported an overall decrease in criminal activity in the tourist corridor. But the answer as to why, well, that's a little bit more complex. Las Vegas was the backdrop for a deadly shooting, and as a result, Strip safety has been called into question online. So, what do the numbers say about the area command for the heart of the Strip? According to Metro's crime statistics, reports of assault down by 14%, and Las Vegas Strip property crime down over 15% compared to.
This situation made them question the safety of Las Vegas, but this is actually a YouTube issue. Let me get to one more broadcast part, and that is the other YouTuber who actually was responsible for it turned himself in. Waste his life for YouTube beef. Okay, I want you guys to remember that we have real life outside of YouTube. We have a family, we have friends. Make sure that you guys get off of YouTube, get some fresh air, so you don't become intoxicated with all of the nonsense and the algorithm that feeds you more toxicity.
YouTubers comes after months of an online feud between YouTubers FINNY the Legend and the accused shooter Manuel Ruiz. Fox 5's Molly McBride joins us in the studio with a new look into what could have led up to last night's shooting. Molly.
Okay, there's some more detail.
Well, through one of FINNY's friends, we're learning more about what could have led up to this shooting and what FINNY and his wife Bubbly meant to the Vegas, Arizona YouTube community. A son, a father.
Oh, he's a good father. He takes care of his kids.
And a grandfather. Derek Ware tells me the Arizona-based YouTuber, FINNY the Legend, was just a big, friendly guy.
If something was wrong, he would just always check up on me.
He was a husband, too. Ware says FINNY's wife, who went by Bubbly, lived up to her name, lighting up each room she entered.
She would have fun everywhere she went. People wanted to be around her.
He says he actually met FINNY through the accused shooter Manuel Ruiz's YouTube page, offering insight on the feud between the two YouTubers.
This was brewing. This brewed for 2 years.
Ware says it all started back in 2023 when Ruiz pepper sprayed Bubbly on Fremont Street.
I was saying, I'm just glad it was pepper spray and it wasn't bullets.
A grim foreshadowing of what was to come.
I said, I don't want to see you here in pain with bullets in you. So let's figure this out.
Ware says FINNY chose to never get physical.
His wife said she was okay, so he was just like, okay, let's handle this another way.
Instead, he fought back online.
He controls his emotions very well. That's what I liked about him the most.
Ware says FINNY held a weekly live stream where people could speak freely about anything, including their grievances with Ruiz.
Manny was welcome to come on and defend himself. He kept it fair. It wasn't just a bash. It wasn't just let's talk about Manny, talk bad about Manny. It's just everybody's experience.
Ware says as Ruiz lost followers, FINNY's online popularity grew, dethroning Ruiz from his position as king of the tight-knit Vegas, Arizona.
People really lose it over followings and becoming the king or the queen of this platform.
YouTube community. But Ware tells me he never thought Ruiz would escalate to this level of violence.
That's just sickening. He's sick. That's just, what do you get out of that? I don't get that. You just ruined 2 families.
Or that a jealousy-fueled feud would take away his 2 friends forever.
All right, so this was a little bit more background to the story, so I'm glad I had that clip. But as you see, it was literally someone presenting somebody else and having people talk about them. And no matter what the subject matter, this happens all the time on YouTube. That's why I do appreciate you, Bones, for saying this. Hello, Grace. I wanted to commend you on the way that you handled and Trina Downs. She was so disrespectful and you handled it like a queen. You are appreciated. At the end of the day, like I said, words are words. You know, I have been called worse in certain situations. And then you have to look at the totality of the situation and the state of mind of the person. You know, is it worth it? You know, so I did think that Trina had some valid points. The way she presented it was just out of pocket. And it was, you know, what would it have brought for me to bring more rage and things to that? So thank you so much. I'm glad I could be able to show an example so people don't take this so seriously. So now you have this gentleman that 2 lives are lost and he had turned himself in. Now this is the video of him turning himself in. It's ridiculous. Let me see if it has sound. It may not have no sound.
Recording.
Okay.
Hello?
Can you come over here real quick? Let's just face the wall right here. We're just going to detain you real quick, okay? You got any weapons on you or anything? All right. You could double cup it if you want.
We don't have to watch the full 1 minute and 50-second video, but obviously you see his life is done simply for being too engulfed in YouTube, possibly never going outside, not having a hobby, and depending on the funds of YouTube. YouTube content creators, we really have to take a step back and look at the situation like that and like this and realize that it's not worth it. So I just wanted to share that because I was like, wow, that was funny that came up, and maybe could it be a good time for me just to continue to show the audience, you know, we have to do better as content creators, but also audience members. I already told y'all, sometimes y'all fuel the beef and it becomes toxic. But then there's a lot of you guys that don't fuel the beef and really want people to, you know, get along. And I have seen that. So within this Harvey Thornton thing, you have seen a lot going on. So whoever happened to come across this page that's creeping, take a look at that video, you know, take it to heart, you know, take it easy. Focus on your life outside of YouTube. Love your family. So now what we're going to be going into, this is going to be a mixed broadcast because I got some things to kind of reference as well. So let's just flash back June 9th. Harvey Alderwoman Chapman returns to the city council, remains confined and felony charge dismissal. So let's just get into this because it was dismissed and then they upgraded it. So this is basically what I think what happened. They don't want her to be a public official. Now, I'm not sure if they knew she was running for mayor prior to upgrading the charges, but it looks like they're trying to find a way to get her out of there. So let's just play this real quick.
Tonight's first return to city council for a Harvey Alderwoman since being hit with a felony charge.
WGN's Brona Tumulty joining us now from Harvey with details. Hi, Brona.
Good evening, guys. Some heated words during public comment, but no major fireworks tonight following the most recent arrest of Alderwoman Chapman. And no charges have stuck thus far, and she feels the latest one levied against her won't either.
When the state's attorney's office has an opportunity to make full review of the entirety of what occurred on Monday, April the 28th, I think that they'll make a good decision favorable. And I'm very hopeful, favorable for myself.
Kobe Chapman confident her current felony charge of aggravated battery against a police officer may be dismissed. The second ward alder of Harvey speaking with us ahead of her first council meeting since that charge was filed against her.
And this is my fourth time arrested, third time jailed, third time my mother was jailed.
It all stems from April 28th and a heated exchange in council chambers.
Please do not allow the disruption. We are not going to disrupt this meeting.
Mayor Christopher Clark then requesting the removal of Chapman.
Please escort the second ward alderwoman from the council chambers. Thank you. Don't touch my stuff.
Now, don't forget, we talked about this video and how this video was released on the Harvey City Council page. Guess what? Guess who got blocked? Grace Levi. I was looking at this Harvey City Council video, and the same thing that happened to me before when I came back from Dalton and they blocked me. I was like, what's wrong with this? Why this won't load? What is going on here? I switched to my Secret Squirrel page, and I was like, oh, snap. Let me find out Clark blocking people, because you know they got a heavy monitor on that page. So I just want to give you a heads up. But on this particular video right here, you know that they uploaded it to the Harvey YouTube page, and the guys of trying to out Kobe, showing her in a horrendous position. That's how, like I said, how professional and how much decor that Clark had. But we're going to just keep it going. I just want to remind y'all about this clip and where you can find the disparaging one that I do believe that he's going to try to use against her. But there are some pretense factors that I would assume that the judge is going to take into account when it comes to this. one, the validity of the actual of asking the cop to escort her out. Did she commit a crime? Was she actually disturbing the peace? We're not going to go over the meeting, but if you listen to the intro of the meeting, it sounds literally like a hearing when you're going to court. What you can do, what you can't do, laws. They was reading statutes out about disorderly conduct. And the way they was reading out those statutes, it was so abstract that anything can be taken for disorderly conduct. We're gonna talk about that when we review a few of the Harvey meetings. But I still just kind of, like I said, I'm getting to know what's going on in Harvey, doing my little creeping. I'm listening around, to people. Shout out to Ryan, because some of the information that we're going to share today is not directly provided to you by Ryan, but what I was made aware of it by Ryan. And I was like, what? Okay. So again, let's just watch this right here. I just wanted y'all guys to know that that's what's going on the actual Harvey YouTube page.
She's been a vocal opponent of the mayor and was initially facing misdemeanor charges, since dropped, for which Kobe says no reason was given.
I have not, and I'll defer to my attorney Hanlon on that.
Tonight, several members of the public speaking in her defense and against the current administration.
Who is advising you on to do these things? It's not about winning. It's about what's right and what's wrong.
Others saying they'll throw support behind her in her 2027 mayoral bid.
This town is not being ran properly. It's a cash fund for a cash cow for a bunch of people who want to play the game and abuse the citizens.
And I'm going to stop right there. He said it's a cash fund for a cash cow. Why would he say that? Let's watch what they released on the Harvey YouTube page. He pulled a Henry subliminally. I told you he's a little bit smart. He's smart. He said, I'm not going to do it the way she do it, but I'm going to tell y'all the same thing. Just like New Jack City. Pay me your money. So this video here was released today, years old, about 1 or 2 hours ago. This is why we don't have nice things. This what you do, Clark? This is what you do. This is 38-second video. Let's watch it together.
When businesses don't pay their commercial taxes, it hurts all of us. It's why you pay more for your property taxes, and it's why we don't have nice things. Those taxes fund the things we all rely on, like clean streets, public safety, and city services that keep our community running. When those tax dollars don't come in, the city has to do more with less, and that means longer response times, fewer improvements, and delayed repairs. Paying your fair share helps create a safer, stronger, more vibrant Harvey for everyone. We're in this together.
Let's just, one part I want y'all to listen to, and we're going to kind of hit some key elements that may play a part on why people are having trouble paying their taxes. So this is a subliminal message, a subliminal way of saying, pay me. Okay, that's his way. Listen, he says that they said the reason why the taxes is high because you don't pay it. Let's listen.
Taxes, and it's why we don't pay taxes, and it's why you pay more for your property taxes. It hurts all of us. It's why you pay more for your property taxes, and it's why we don't have nice things.
So why
businesses don't?
So wait, we trying to figure out why Illinois is paying more for their property taxes. This is the reason why. Okay, this is what this guy said. Okay, let's just play back just a little bit slower. Y'all let me know, is this the reason why y'all have to pay this tremendous amount of tax that y'all pay on property? And we're going to look at it again, Illinois property taxes. Dun, 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 dun. I did this a couple of months ago when we were talking about taxation in Dalton and Thornton. But this is what he said is the problem.
When businesses don't pay their commercial taxes, it hurts all of us. It's why you pay more for your property taxes, and it's why we don't have nice things. Those taxes fund the things we all...
So now they're blaming it on the businesses not paying their property taxes. So what I'm going to be doing is a little bit of research into the businesses' property taxes in later broadcasts. But that can be an element that can contribute, but it's actually the rate. Is actually the board at the time of the township of what they need and what they vote on, which actually plays a major role in taxation in any county. So it's not just the businesses, which I don't have that many businesses. So if it's based on businesses taxation and y'all don't have many businesses, that means the property tax is going to be high regardless. But we already know that Clark has put like extra fees on businesses along with the increased taxation. Now, I'm not saying give them Schedule 8 and look at the roads. Just look at it. I'm not saying give them tax breaks, but everyone is suffering when it comes to inflation, especially small businesses. So that may be the people that you need to focus into to help give them some type of leeway and make sure that the big businesses that you bring in, if you can, tax them decently. All right. Growing out of control property taxes put increased burden on Illinois taxpayers. And we talked about this last year. And it's every year. They're telling you guys, get ready for more taxes every year. And I do feel bad for you guys. One thing I do want to clarify, Trina said her tax was $26,000. I was like, dang, that's a lot. Now, in the midst of all the yelling and things, sometimes you can't think straight. And I think back, like, ain't no damn way. Does she got a mansion? But I just want to clarify that the taxes is high. It's about the average $3,000 in taxation, $3,500, which is still a national high. We're going to show you this. So this is property tax are the single largest taxes in Illinois. Burden residents far more than either income or sales tax. Illinois already knows they pay high property tax, but what is not as well known is the property tax are outpacing residents' ability to pay for them. So I find it very disrespectful for people to say, you don't pay your taxes, pay your taxes, pay your taxes, pay your taxes. As a homeowner, and again, I get in as a person who invests in real estate and I have to pay taxes directly, baby, it takes me a good 6 months or 7 months after being billed for taxes to these entities that don't help me. Federal government don't help me to pay them for the money that I made on my property or just the general taxes. But I'm gonna take a whole glass to shut the hell up because I'm sensitive about that shit. As a taxpayer and a homeowner, don't play with me. And then you could levy my home that I've been trying to pay for over 12 to 13 years just because of back taxes that you increase higher than a national average, and gonna say that's the reason why we don't have nothing. No, I'm going off on a tangent. No, I'm talking as a Harvey resident. And yeah, again, if I was a Harvey resident, I'll be like, no, okay, because what happened was the corruption that laundered money out of here for the 6+ years. I'm saying 6 because that's all I kind of know of right now, off the top of my head. 6+ years that wasn't going to the right direction. Allegedly, Clark came in there and cleaned up the ghost payroll. But you know what to do. One hand washes the other one. One administration focuses up one thing one way. The other one acts like they're fixing it and then mess up another thing the other way. But I'm going off on a tangent. Let's go. Over the past 50 years, whether measures of comparison to household income, economic growth, population, or inflation, all classes of property tax, residential, commercial, and industrial, have placed an increasingly unaffordable burden on Illinoisians. Okay, since 1963, Illinois property tax has grown 2.5 times faster than the inflation. 2.5 times faster than the inflation and 14 times faster than the state population. And I'm going to stop right there because I already said a mouthful. We're going to leave this link for you guys, for the ones that's saying, pay the taxes, when the taxes literally, how did they say? 2.5 times grow faster than the inflation. What did they say? What about the pay rate? We're going to have to find that out. It's probably 10 times more than the pay rate. Because they still didn't hit the national average of $15 an hour in most states. Y'all remember that? Everybody supposed to be there? Yeah, I'm on a little tangent. But I want to move forward because I don't appreciate that video where pay your taxes. That was Clark's nice way of saying this. You pay me. Okay? Now, this is just some more proof about what's going on in Illinois. Homeowners see property taxes raised $756 in 5 years. This was last year. So again, this is just proof that this has been going on in increments in Illinois, but we already know that the South Side has the highest tax. Okay. So homeowners in Cook County, there we go. There you go. There you go. Homeowners in Cook County pay more in property taxes than homeowners in Los Angeles or San Diego. In those parts, they have high tourism rates. You already know. Okay. Chicago, this was August 1st, 2024. The second installment property tax bill due in the upcoming months across Illinois. New data demonstrates those tax bills are spiking to new extremes. This was last year. The typical Illinois homeowner pays about $5,555. So when I said 3,000 average, what they do is average in, with mean and average. And when I'm going to show you on the next page, is about 3,000. Now, based on the property value, the taxation is. So this was last year, 2022. Okay. This is the analyst in 2022. I think the one I have is saying about 3,000 or 4. But the property taxes didn't go down. So let's just keep that in mind. Okay. There is more than homeowners in any other Midwest state and more than double the national average. So that is more than any homeowner in the Midwest state and double the national average. Okay. I had to re-clarify that sentence. Do we have a problem here? Do we have a problem here? So I'm not seeing Clark even trying to come off as the good guy because he's talking shit and saying, pay me. Do you have good jobs? Did you create jobs in your local area to help people have employment to pay taxes? Excuse me. Okay. So here we go. 5-year changes in property tax bill by Illinois County. Cook County up here somewhere? I think so. Oh, I found it, y'all. So 5-year changes, $957 change in property taxes. So there's been a 19% increase from 2018 to 2022. I'm 3 years behind with my data. Do we have a problem? I think we have a problem. How disrespectful is Clark to talk crap about the people in Harvey not paying taxes when their money was laundered for years? Okay. Do I have to dig in this tax thing a little bit more, or should I just stop? Because y'all know I got more resources and I could dig it in the hole. I think I'm gonna stop. What we're gonna do is look at this right here. Now this is February 20th, 2024. So I'm just making my way around town. Walking fast and I'm homebound. Like that song. Try to figure out what's happening in Harvey. So I just be creeping. This is just preliminary. Okay, y'all know what I do. Gotta get to know what's going on. Y'all gotta give me some reference points of where to start looking, especially when it comes to the housing thing. We are gonna do a little flashback at the meeting where the gentleman over the housing committee, I'll just listen to what he was saying because it sounds a little weird. But anyway, this was February 20th, 2024. And he in this particular article, Finance Committee explanation for purchases made by Harvey Comptroller Louis Williams. So this is him right here. And over here, you see this guy right here with the leather jacket with his face covered. That one we have officially named Call Tyrone. What's going on? He's going to be our star for today. Call Tyrone. Let me take him off. Call Tyrone. AKA Mr. Holmes. AKA Andrew Holmes. This is Adulting number 2. We get into this right here. Shout out to Ryan for making me aware about that one. That's what we're going to be getting to. Obviously, he ain't locked up. Obviously, it's some Southside politics or something because his was sounding even, I'm going to say a little bit worse than Phoenix. Yeah, it was terribleness. So this back to the finance. Using personal credit cards. Okay, so it's just a stop. Okay. The city occasionally used Williams' personal credit card for municipality purchase, which he is later reimbursed for. Using personal credit cards for city purchases, municipality debt, stray dogs dominated. What did it say? Stray dogs dominated the finance committee fifth meeting. Okay. In rare moment, Harvey Comptroller Louis Williams was present to interpret charges on the bill list for period January 19th to February 1st. Alderman Tracy Keys and City Treasurer Letitia Pickett. You already know we waiting for that treasurer. We waiting for the report that she sent in. Pressure bust pipes of baked diamonds. Because obviously the residents have been asking for a report from the treasury office or her, the treasurer, and she finally did it. How about that? Not only did she finally submit something that y'all waited for now, that last board meeting was so long. I'm talking about literally on their soapbox. Each committee or each department, they had a presentation and an update. We're gonna talk about a little bit about that. So it's good that they're moving a little bit faster than what happened with Dalton, because Tiffany wasn't moving at all. But I'm wondering why he's moving like this, because only way I can think of the reason why he would do this, like start moving on things, because he want to be on top of it. He want to control the narrative. So he wants to release things before people start doing freedom of information requests. Everything start coming out real messy. So if he released things, this is just my synopsis. If he released things, then he has control over stuff. White collar crime. Let's move forward. So they were inquiring about why he was using his personal credit card. Williams clarified his role as the city comptroller to the finance committee, chaired by Alderman Tyrone, co-chaired by Alderman Kobe II, and several purchases made by the city using his American Express credit card. Williams often asked to purchase goods such as those given out to family during Harvey's Christmas toy drive last year or Turkey's Thanksgiving giveaway. A lot of time we have signatures, and so I allowed them to use my credit card. They reimbursed me. I don't make any charges on behalf of the city. That's weird. What the hell? Why would he be using his personal credit card for? Huh? Y'all got any idea? Do Harvey got bad credit? Y'all can't get a credit card? All right. The matter raised concerns from the attendees and some elder person about Bill's list accuracy, because he probably could make his own personal purchases, and y'all can't distinguish which one is which. Accounts on file and Harvey's relationship with the vendors. Rogers said that he had a conversation with Mayor Chris Clark, assistant to as to why Harvey WW Consulting was insisting was using Williams' card during a year before they didn't have an open account. Ooh, okay. Ooh, did y'all get that? So a vendor was using the credit card before they had an open account. It's looking kind of messy. Clark doesn't do anything. Rogers said that he had a conversation with Mayor Christopher Clark, assistant, as to why Harvey, make sure I'm not mute. I do apologize. Harvey, now Harvey is creating a separate account according to Williams, so his invoices should no longer appear on the bills. Williams' name on the bills list is something that Alleviate Key said, because it just brings too much questions. That is suspect. That man, first, he probably wasn't giving in proper invoices, as far as he probably was giving in different invoices. And oh my God, I can't even begin to think of the rationale of why would they allow that for him to do that, except for him to have endless spending and get reimbursed on his own. like it won't. They won't be able to distinguish, the transactions. So I wanted to bring this article up. I'm going to go more in detail as we try to figure out what's going on with Harvey Finance. I told you I got the 2021, the last audit that was released. I got that one. Tonight we're not going over it, but I'm just, creeping, keeping some reference points in mind. Like you got to start somewhere. So yeah, they had some credit card issues. There people use personal credit cards. Now let's go into this. This has been another talk of the town, something that's allegedly going on in Harvey related to the houses. There's been allegations that they are selling houses to people that they want to sell houses to. They are gentrifying Harvey. They have a disagreement about the retention pond that they want to put in Harvey, where I think they're trying to move forward for eminent domain. As a person and a homeowner, that would be person who owns a home, that would be very devastating to me. Okay, that does remind me of Oscarville. If y'all know what Oscarville is, if you ever come out here to Gainesville, and y'all go out to Lake Lanier. Lake Lanier was originally known as Oscarville, which was a prominently Black neighborhood after the Emancipation Proclamation. You know how they kept them in slavery down here in South for a couple of more years, but I'm gonna shut up. This town was able to be prominent, good town, good land, and they wanted to basically create a river, create a like Lanier. And what they did was take it by eminent domain. Some people did not want to sell their homes. I just got to tell you how bad eminent domain is and how they implement it on the Black community continuously, and how we lose out on generational wealth, because that is what gentrification is. But let's go back to Oscarville. So some of the people did not move out of Oscarville. I was just telling one of my favorites about this because we went to Lake Lanier and my kids wouldn't step their foot into Lake Lanier. I did say I would never go, but we had to go buy some water for Memorial Day. And come to find out, it was a branch off of Lake Lanier. Why my kids wouldn't put their foot in the water? Because our ancestors were drowned there in the lake. The ones who did not leave their land, they were drowned. Houses, trees, and everything is located on the Lake Lanier. So there is tragedy that is connected to eminent domain and the loss of generational wealth. Okay, before we watch this, just let's break this down. Gentrification is not just a Black thing anymore. They usually start with us, and then they implement it on everybody, the have not, the degenerates, or whoever the elites feel is beneath them. Okay, even the boule, you're beneath them too. Yeah, the Black leaders who call themselves boule that think that they're really doing something by hurting the Black community and doing stuff, they're gonna get rid of you too. But this is how gentrification works. So what happens is that when you have home, you have property, it's an asset. When you get asset, it becomes an asset when you get your initial mortgage paid down or your mortgage is completely done. And the only thing you have to do is pay taxes because of the estimated value of the home based versus what you have to pay yearly. That's what makes it an asset. Okay, so once people have their home for years, they pass it down and it's paid off, usually you just have to pay the taxes if the taxes are reasonable. But what they seem to do in the Black community is that once we get there, we create or we have or whatever, sometimes they love to take our good areas from us after we've been pushed in that area. What they will do is displace us through eminent domain or passive but continuous inflation. How does that work? They bring these big corporations into our neighborhood, not giving us a chance to acquire the land or the businesses, which the concept of American economy is based on, hey, the more demand, the more you want, the more it's going to cost. So now you have a supply and demand that's happening in the area, which is causing inflation. Now the property taxes is going up. Now they're taking the money and putting it into the schools, the infrastructures allegedly to build it up, and we're priced out. So the end of gentrification is that we're displaced out of the home where it could have been worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars to have to restart in another location in which you know how wealth takes place in America. It's through land. That's how European, aka Caucasian Americans, pass down generational wealth through property, assets, and through insurance, whole life insurance. And I'm going to stop there. This is how we break down what's going on in Harvey and across the United States. Now, right now, we don't have total proof that gentrification is going on in Harvey, but something is a little weird. So we're going to listen to what he has to say about the 180 something properties that's up for sale and how he has private investors and some people up to buy them. But I do want you to understand how these properties got on this list. It's usually from back taxes. Pay your taxes. I'm being fictitious. And usually because people are priced out, especially when you have an older person living in the home and they're on a fixed income of $2,000 a month. And they have to pay for everything. Just like we still have to pay for everything. Just because they're seniors doesn't mean the commodities and the lifestyle needs change. So what they do is price our seniors out of their home. And they can't afford 19% growth of taxes in 5 years because their Social Security is not increasing. But let's go. Let's break it down to the people who making fun of the residents out there talking about pay your taxes. Ha 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 ha. Let's keep it going.
Good evening.
I got jokes.
Mayor, council members, and residents here. My name is Cesar Suarez. I'm the Economic Development Director for the city here. And my main responsibilities is business development, planning and zoning, and also property sales. We have a lot of property here, and we also do a lot of that work here for planning and zoning. On the business development side, the city staff and council members went to the ICSC conference on May 18th and 20th, and we had a multitude of potential prospects are interested in the city. We're following up on Starbucks, Sonic, Steak and Shake, Choice Hotels, Cordova, Planet Fitness, and the rest.
Okay.
And many of the key areas will be in the northeast and the southwest corner.
Now remember what I just broke down. Maybe I played in slow motion. They bring the big corporations in, and this starts to increase the price value, which leads to the increase of taxes for the need of infrastructure and beautifying to make sure that these businesses are successful. But I hope he brings up that, they have programs in which some of this land can get back to the residents or people who want to become business owners, who are small business owners. Even if they're not residents, but they're smaller business owners in the South Side or Illinois, that will be better than a big corporation coming in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not more. You need more mom and pops than the big corporations to balance out taxation. Does that will help balance out taxation?
Near the interstate, that's where the main interest lies with attracting industry and retail. We also currently have about 8 Class 8 property tax applications, so we're going to be reviewing them and be coming before council in the coming months.
Okay, so Class 8, what we went into that before. That means that they're going to be taxed at a lower rate for over 20 years. And that's how it was read out before. I think like at a 10%, and then they have to reapply, and then it go up just a little bit. So I don't know if they're going to give those Class 8 to the big corporations. That won't be helpful for the Harvey residents or the small mom and pop shops. But Class 8s will be beneficiary for, I think, new businesses that don't have so much of a growth potential in the first few years to help them out. That's just my opinion, but y'all need to pay attention to where those Class 8 is going to, because if it's going to Starbucks and Walmart, hell to the no. They are big multi-billion-dollar company and they can pay. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense, y'all? I'm in the mode. I'm dropping a lot. It's heavy tonight, but I know you guys is on it. So let's go. Shout out to Harvey. Love and blessings to the residents. Love and blessings to Kobe. Love and blessings that we able to talk about this and move on to another correcting the South Side. I'm excited because I knew something was going on with Harvey, watching Ryan complain all the time, like, hello, something over here, he's crazy. Brian had the big eyes on, like, That's where he was at. Okay, and to a point that he was just like, I'm sick of this shit. Okay, this is enough. And then they did the grabbing on his neck and all of that. Yeah, it was a build up to this. I've been watching you, Ryan. Shout out to you. Check him out late nights. You get it. You learn a lot from him. Okay, moving forward.
With regard to planning and zoning, at the end of 2025, we received 58 zoning applications, clearances year to date. For most of you know, before you can really locate in the city, you have to have zoning clearances. And so it takes time to really get through that process. And we have far more than we've ever had before. So that's
now, to me, that sounds like rezoning, because when you purchase properties and things like that, usually the area is already zoned. Okay, for what it is, it's commercial, residential, commercial/residential. It sounds like these applications are in for rezoning because they're restructurizing Harvey. They're trying to put a retention pond here, this place here. So please pay attention to these rezoning efforts and what's going on, because one of the things that I know that residents were concerned about, and I'm gonna have to say his name again because that's who I've been following to get up to date. Ryan was the historical properties there, and look at his live. Okay, he said that he knew somebody who wanted to purchase a property, but it was stopped allegedly. I don't know by who, maybe Mayor Clark, because they wanted to demolish the property. So I'm like, why would they want to demolish it instead of getting tax money from someone? And he had to create his organization. And I think that's kind of confirmed from some of the stuff Clark says, because he brung that up, talking about he made that historical organization because he wanted to be our realtor person. But it was in regards to a property that I think Ryan didn't want to be sold because somebody was Ryan wanted it to be sold to somebody and they wanted to demolish it. So this may be some of the reasons of the clearing effort of Harvey, because they want to just create a whole new Harvey. That's what it seemed like, especially with all of those zoning applications. Me as a real estate investor, that's the only thing I can think of when you're doing zoning applications. You're applying to get the zoning change. So
out of the 58 that we had, 33 have been processed, with 32 approved, 1 denied. And then we have 25 remaining right now, and many more are coming along the way.
Wow.
We have received a special use permit for an area, and we're expecting to have that meeting as well with the Planning and Zoning Commission.
All right. Look into that, y'all. We're just going to go into his part, into the business license. Y'all know what I can do. I can break it down. All right, look into that, because he said a special use license. What the heck is that? What are they about to bring to Harvey that they need special use license? Meaning some type of environmental thing that needs a special use license? Are they bringing some type of plant, some type of hydrogen collider? I'm telling you, they're doing all this AI stuff. So they're bringing in manufacturers that creates the AI things. I think I mentioned to this, I'll maybe put it, I'm not going to pull it up, but Elon Musk is having a problem in maybe Missouri. One of his plants out there is taking up a lot of the water and creating dirty water because they use water for a source of energy. Y'all, okay? Whatever that special use application is for, check it out. Check it out, because something may look good now, but later on, health issues happen. Because these businesses are using high frequency things, with their equipment. I watch a lot of documentary, and it's causing people to have health issues like cancer, leukemia down the road. People having breathing issues and they don't know what it is. But then when it's the group of the population over 10 years that you see a high number, then they start looking at environmental factors. So before that happened, figure out about what the special use thing is. And that's the same thing I told for Dalton. Whatever that they what was it? Some type of AI company want to come to Dalton, like they want to make a chip or something. Y'all remember? Y'all got to understand that they use power, they use water, all types of stuff, and it's going to take away from the area around, and you guys going to suffer. So I know I said a lot, but they was trying to say a lot. They was trying to get a lot passed, and we're not about to let them do that. Okay, let's pay attention to details.
With regard to property sales, we're tracking properties, and we also include both city properties and also other private properties that may be eligible for a judicial deed or a tax deed. So there's very opportunities out there to really convert and redevelop vacant lots, vacant properties.
Tax liens and tax deeds, so pay attention. Y'all tax sale is June of every year, so they just had one. So that list that he's talking about is literally the list that's sitting over from last year inventory and whatever happened the beginning of this month.
By identifying the property and submitting a letter of intent, you can do so online right now.
So what he's telling you now is that those properties that's on that list, y'all can contact the Treasury's office or the tax assessor's office, whoever hosts it. It depends, because sometimes it's the sheriff, depending on the county. But I would assume that is your taxation office. Contact them and ask them for the overage list. No, not the overage list. The over the counter list. They call it over the counter, or they call it the SS or leftover property list from the tax sale, and that's what they can give you. But they have it online, because I didn't get to go through it, but I think I saw that was what Ryan was looking at. And you guys can contact them with the bid amount, because it should tell you how much it is, and they should be able to let y'all pay for it without y'all having to go through the auction process. That's what I teach y'all. That's what I teach, tax liens and tax deeds. Okay. The thing is that when you do buy these properties like this, you have to do your research, because you can get properties that have structural issues. They can be condemned. They can have other liens on them that's attached from the homeowner. So you got to know what way you got to move forward to foreclose. So that's what I teach the Black community. Shout out to my seminar we did today. We're going to put it at the end. I did an economic development seminar. I do it every Wednesday. So that's some of the stuff I talk about, guys. So if I'm going to go, it's because I'm going to go. My mind is like, okay. This is the geeky Grace Levi that's coming out. Okay. So let's get it. I think this is what the people need. Okay. We got to get them. So that's where you can find those properties. Anybody can actually invest, not only Harvey resident, but my recommendation is that the little guy get these properties, because going the conventional way through the mortgage, inflation on the homes, and also the loan rate, you're going to be paying forever. Some people mortgages is like $3,000, $4,000, $4,500. I can't even imagine that. I'm going to be honest. My stuff was locked in when the rates was low. So based on inflation, people, I don't know how y'all surviving. That's why I take to heart when people laugh or people say, pay me, pay your taxes. Y'all are taxing us out of our property. Y'all are taxing us into the street. So y'all guys need to learn how to play the game, okay? Grace Levi can teach y'all how to play the game. Let's go.
Thus far, we have interest and activity on 182 properties. They include 104 have requested for potential sale, 31 have been approved for redevelopment, 28 are being purchased by MWRD for the transfer to the city, 9 properties have been sold, 7 are going to be returned to the city. We have denials of 2, and 1 property we are leasing. So most recently, on April 28, 2025, the City Council approved the sale of 60 East 155th Street to 2 Blue Crest Estates, a single-family home, and there's going to be an investment of $120,000 to renovate that vacant home. So we're excited about that. So we continue to prepare the commercial industrial properties for sale. We own 10 commercial properties, 8 industrial properties, and we continually present them to interested parties. That is my report.
He said what about the industrial property?
MWRD for the transfer to the city. 9 properties have been sold. 7 are going to be returned to the city. We have denials of 2, and 1 property we are leasing. So most recently, on April 28, 2025, the City Council approved the sale of 60 East 155th Street to 2 Blue Crest Estates, a single-family home. And there's going to be an investment of $120,000 to renovate that vacant home. So we're excited about that. So we continue to prepare the commercial industrial properties for sale. We own 10 commercial properties, 8 industrial properties, and we continually present them to interested parties.
So they have 10 industrial properties and 8 private properties, 18 properties that they own. And that let me explain to you how the town can own homes, because people probably get a little confused, like they just stealing people's stuff. This is what happened. As far as the tax lien sale go, the tax lien sale is so every year. So if you owe taxes for that year, your property will go on a tax roll. Someone like me can invest in that property, and you have 2 years to redeem that property in Illinois, meaning you have 2 years to pay for those taxes. So that's a built up plus the interest. Now, what ended up happening if nobody bids on that property and the 2 years comes and nobody bid because it was just sitting there, then it turns into a deed. That deed is basically created by a levy that is created by the county, because according to state law, after 2 years, the property can be considered levied or legally able to be levied by any party after 2 years of owing taxation, and that is the county. So that's how they end up owning them. You see what I'm saying? So you do have time to pay your back taxes, and it's usually between 2 to 3 years, and that's with penalty and things like that. So just giving you a heads up of what actually happens out there, you know. All right, let's go. Now let's move on. Let's listen to a little bit more. I will trying to figure out what's going on, but y'all do know that it's private properties that Clark has, and we need to determine who's getting these private properties. Okay, we need to determine how they're getting these properties, and we can do that simply by looking up the Illinois property registry, just like we did for Hindu. Okay, we're not doing that tonight because I don't want to blow y'all mind. So let's finish with this part, and then we're going to get to that last part where they said he said he created 200 business license. Where did they get that from?
That is my report.
Okay, so that was it. Now, is this the guy with the business license thing?
To work within the limited means of the city.
Hold on.
I
think it was him. Is it him, y'all?
About 55.
As we enter our peak season for rehabilitation and maintenance work.
Hold on.
In the month of May, our department approved a total of 90 permits, making a strong start to our busiest season because of the favorable weather conditions.
Wait.
These permits include 20 roofing permits, 10 solar permits, along with 10 rehab permits.
Okay.
Additionally, we approved the demolition of 2 residential properties due to structural concerns and safety issues. 14835 Vale Avenue and 15222 Loomis Avenue. These actions are part of our ongoing commitment to improve public safety. We are proud to report that 211 business licenses were approved in May.
Did you hear what he said? Y'all, this is the last part I want to show y'all. I just had to, is this man lying? How did you approve 200 business licenses in Harvey? Somebody need the Freedom of Information request that. Somebody need to see if he lying, because that ain't the truth.
As we enter our peak.
Unless they have a building in Harvey that's like St. Patrick's, and they renting out each office, and each person in the office got a business license. That's the only way I can believe that statement. Yeah, you tell me how that could be the truth.
Season for rehabilitation and maintenance work. In the month of May, our department approved a total of 90 permits, making a strong start to our busiest season because of the favorable weather conditions. These permits include 20 roofing permits, 10 solar permits, along with 10 rehab permits. Additionally, we approved the demolition of 2 residential properties due to structural concerns and safety issues. 14835 Vale Avenue and 15222 Loomis Avenue. These actions are part of our ongoing commitment to improve public safety. We are proud to report that 211 business licenses were approved in May, a sign of continued economy and creating opportunities for residents. Before I close, I want to take a...
I'm done. Can anybody answer that question? Those were the major important parts that I wanted to look at this meeting, because everything else was so heavy. They put me to sleep. People watching damn Harvey meeting like, I think that's voodoo, y'all. That's the voodoo that Clark do got us up there watching. All of a sudden we tired. I know y'all was feeling tired watching that damn Harvey meeting when he started talking. It was like, wah, 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 wah. All right. So now we're going to get to our second part. This is going to be our last part to this live. It still connects to what's going on in Harvey because we have some pedos, and I'm not being funny, for real. We have some alleged artists in Harvey. So this was the story I wanted to bring to you guys. But before we bring you the story, we got to do some breaking news. This is the story I want to bring to you guys that I was put aware of by Ryan, that Alderman called Tyrone was facing allegations of sexual rape. Just iron. It was terrible. Okay, just terrible. But before we do that, I do want to give you two updates. Something is going on. And the reason why I'm going to show you this is because what we make of this case right here is what we're going to expect to happen in our government to P. Diddy and to everybody else who are facing these tremendous, horrendous allegations. So this was June 9th. Jury divided in the Harvey Weinstein trial. Do y'all know this is still going on? This man ain't died yet or been directly convicted. I know he's supposed to have been in jail, but this is still going on. So I want you guys just to watch this real quick. And I also have another crazy update about an elected official and sexual assault allegations related to ritual sex magic. Think Grace Levi playing with you when I'm telling you these elected officials do voodoo. Okay, we got the proof tonight.
And tonight we are following developments in several court cases.
First, the jury may be divided in Harvey Weinstein's retrial. The foreperson of the jury told the judge today some jurors are ganging up on others and prodding them to change their minds, citing information that wasn't part of the trial. In response, Weinstein's defense lawyer asked for a mistrial. That request was denied. The jury has been deliberating for 3 days now. Weinstein has pleaded not guilty to rape and sexual assault.
Disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs' most recent ex-girlfriend took the stand in his trial again today. The woman, who went by the pseudonym Jane, said that she cried for 3 days after reading a lawsuit filed by Combs' previous girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The 2023 court papers describe hundreds of instances of abuse. Jane said that she felt like she was reading about herself as she read about Cassie, and that case was settled for $20 million. Combs has pleaded not guilty in his current criminal case.
And a judge dismissed the lawsuit filed by actor and director Justin Baldoni against his It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively.
We have to pay attention to this because these are the people with the money. These are the people that's in these prominent positions that people look up to and think that they can do no good. These are people that they look at as they idolize them. So what they get away with is the tone that there's going to be set in society. Okay?
You may recall she sued him for sexual harassment and retaliation in late December after the movie came out. Baldoni then countersued, accusing Lively and her husband of defamation and extortion. But the judge ultimately ruled allegations made in a lawsuit are exempt from libel claims, so Baldoni cannot sue. It's been 2 years since wildfires
That was a form of intimidation. And imagine if someone was a regular person going against a star or a public official, and that public official sued her for defamation after that person make allegations against them. This is what we want to get to as well, because it's a little bit hot in here. It's really hot. Check this out. Lolita James, there has been new sexual allegations related to her involved in allegedly sex ritual magic. Okay, let's get to it. This is out. She out? Lolita James named a shocking abduction allegation. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so this is brought to you by Art Voice. No one is above the law. Former James Stafford goes after New York top cop. She launched a GoFundMe. Lolita James is not above the law. Justice for Angela Dubas. $400,000 goal. Okay, it says not for revenge, for legal, personal, or documentary cause. To tell the truth about what happened on December 22nd, 2014, when she said she was drugged and assaulted at the NYC Public Advocate holiday party. At the time, Lolita James was a public advocate. Abraham Kine was her chief of staff. Now James is the Attorney General of New York, but Angela Dubas says that shouldn't matter. No one is above the law, she writes, which happens to be James' motto. Okay, now allegations with consequences. Dubas has made a serious allegation. She accused Lolita James of crimes. If Angela Dubas is lying, she has to risk everything for a fantasy. Okay. But if she's telling the truth, then Lolita James, now New York Attorney General, once presided over the staff that abducted, drugged, and ritually assault the Black single mother working in her office. Can I drop a bomb real quick? Did I take that sound effect off? Y'all better be lucky, because it would have been like, wow. Am I tripping? Now, when Grace Levi says that these people practice voodoo, rituals, and altar, here you go. You see how God is? I'm not weird. Attorney General once presided over the staff that abducted, drugged, and ritually assaulted a Black single mother working in her office. It allegedly happened in December 2014, just 6 months after the Dubas worked for James' Manhattan office. She was an intern turning full-time staff member, living with her sister, raising 2 kids, and saving to move out. When she formally complained about the workplace harassment by Lolita James, Lieutenant Felton, she was retaliated against. Here we go. Don't this sound familiar? It happens everywhere, not just Dalton. Justice for FINNY. That's all I gotta say. You know I gotta be petty. We gotta make the connections here. 6 days later came the Christmas party. Is she out? Dubas said that she was put in a black Lincoln Towns car, James' official car. She remembered hearing Lolita James asking, is she out? And she was placed conscience, I do apologize, next to James in the back seat. Dubas says that she woke up in the rainy hours later, disorientated, coat and bag going, and later recount a bizarre ritual involving chanting, groping. Am I tripping? Chanting, groping, and a circle of people, including James and Chief of Police Abraham Clan. For years, her story was suppressed. Internal reports was altered. Witnesses was promoted. And shout out to Mac the Man. Please check out his show. He was getting on being buck broke and the Sambos in our community, and how the people who have been put in these compromising positions, they turn into those type of people because 1, they're afraid. 2, they like bumping. Let me just take the money and get the position and act like nothing happened. This happens all the time. That's why I didn't have sympathy for certain people with certain things, no matter what position, because I have an idea what goes on. You should too. Don't say not me. This don't happen in our town. Yes. Y'all remember Melody's Fitness? I'm telling you, they probably was having the sexual fools right there. Allegedly. Shut up, Grace. You're going to the left. Okay. Hit the like button if you like my commentary tonight. I'm keeping it real. We just rolling with the punches. I'm trying to figure out what's going on at Harvey, but I'm finding some interesting things that I can make connections to. This is what we do. We got to think. This is crazy. Internal reports was altered, witnesses promoted. The Department of Investigation closed the case without naming her or the crime. In the meantime, James rose in her career. When she was elected in 2018, she became the first woman of color. Sounding like a little Hingyard. This is crazy. We gotta be living in a simulated world. This is just ridiculous. She became the first woman of color to hold a statewide office in New York and the first woman to be elected attorney general. The vice, who is black, said that shouldn't matter. What does the accomplishments mean if they are on the back end of corruption? No statutes of limitation in New York. You remember that? That's why they're getting puffy daddy right now. But now in 2025, the clock has not run out. In New York, first-degree R in kidnapping has no statute of limitations. Neither does federal aggravated sexual assault or civil rights violation under color of law. And if a cover-up continues through 2017, as the record of email suggested, those involved may still face justice. Now that sounds like a racketeering case. Now, I'm not going to go no more into this. I'm going to keep y'all up to date on this. Y'all know what we do on the weekends. Please listen to our replay game. Y'all know what we used to do because we break these long videos down. So I'm going to break this part down, as you know, and then we're going to move on to part 2 to find out what happened to Lolita over there doing them sex rituals. Can I get an 8-ball in the chat if people didn't believe that we got demons walking amongst us? Advocating people's body, making them do these things because they done gave themselves to these deities and altars just to make money. But this is the sad thing. Before we get into Call Tyrone, just one more thing about Miss Lolita. This is not the first time that she was called out on some horrendous behavior. And she sounded a little bit like Tiffany. Is this the playbook? New York Attorney General, ex-chief of staff, sued over sexual assault claims. Now, this is, I think, under the guise that she tried to suppress something. And this was in 2024. Thank you, Laura. Put the 8 balls in the chat. You know what we do. You got it. You got it. I'm teaching y'all the skills to have this because this is not just a me gift. Once I start to rip the veils off of y'all eyes and kind of look at things a little different, y'all gonna be like, oh, y'all gonna be doing the Matrix. Like, y'all ain't gonna need me to drop the 8 balls. This is literally putting the pieces together. And making sure that we are emotionally intelligent when we deal with people. Y'all know I fell victim for that a little bit back in the day. Nobody perfect. Nobody perfect. I ain't trying to say I'm perfect. Y'all already know I be green. Let's not talk about it. Now, this was just something back in the day. So the New York Attorney General, Lolita James, and her former chief of staff were sued by former female staff who claimed sexual assault in 2021 fundraising. Okay, so I'm thinking this is another one. Hold on. Or is this the same one? Hold on. So this was November 2021 where Ms. James was slighted to give a speech. Okay. Ms. Contour, who was no longer employed by Ms. James at the time of the allegation assault, filed her complaint on Tuesday in the state court in Manhattan. Ms. Contour sued under the New York law allowing victims. So yeah, I think this is the same one. Hold on. I think this is a second. Let me do my research because I'm thinking that this is a separate one. But if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself when we do our part 2. But if you did not know, sex rituals is going down in our government. The boule is acting kind of nasty. Okay? I'll tell you, that's what they do. Now, let's move on to our man of the hour as we get to our final part of the broadcast. Check it out. Hey, Mac Man, check out Mac Man Morning Show. How are you? I brought you up. Let me take this pedal off the damn screen. Alleged pedal. Y'all know I gotta say alleged. Ain't nobody gonna come after me. Clark, he is everything. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm moving even smarter than him. I was smarter than what I did before. Clark gonna get our asses. He's gonna try to do defamation and everything. I can tell. So good evening, Mr. Mac. He is He is the host of the Mac Morning Show. I believe it come all around 9 or 10 a.m. I enjoy his commentary. This morning, like I said, he was talking about buck breaking and basically compromising people being in position of authority and leading us astray. So check out his morning Mac show. You know, if it's one or two of us in there, we just gonna keep it going. I support you. Now let's get to this right here. This right here is ridiculous. I got, man, I was about to go in on Lolita. I got her whole legacy. We'll do that on the part 2. Y'all know sometimes I do too much. But let's put this in bit. I ain't gonna do too much. I don't want to stop. Actual assault is no red flag for the suburban school board. So this was February 2018 after the charges. Now, I still have to verify, was it dismissed? You know, what was the outcome? Please don't quote me on it. But we're just going to talk about the charges in itself and the whole situation, how horrendous it is. Okay? Shout out to Ryan for providing us with the foundation of this information. Tyrone Rogers has been charged with 3 felonies: aggravated criminal sexual assault, attempted criminal sexual assault, and aggravated criminal sexual assault and kidnapping. Yet he remains a school board member in Harvey. How disgusting. He is on court order electronic home monitoring, but has repeatedly been given permission to go to the Cook County Circuit Judge Murphy to leave by the Cook County Circuit Judge Alan Murphy to leave his home and attend a school board meeting. School board or school, just the word school should not be used in the same paragraph as sexual abuse, sexual assault allegations. Anything gotta go. Just separate. Just separate. Opinion. Despite the current social climate, the Me Too movement and nationwide outrage over the way women have been ignored, marginalized when it comes to sexual harassment, I'm told that no one on the school board has complained that Rogers continue to attend because they be possibly doing. Shut up. I don't know if they do the sex rituals, but you're a little comfortable. You know me. I was like, oh, hell no. Don't touch me. I don't want to sit next to him. I can't even see how they breathe the same air as Andrew Holmes. I can't. But they have more tolerance than me. See, they have more tolerance than me. I can deal with Trina and they can deal with Andrew Holmes. It's God. Okay? Okay. There are no protests outside the administrative office at Harvey Elementary School 152. There's no parents demanding that Rogers resign. The school board president is not only is supporting Rogers, but he actually posted Rogers' bail. There are 2 interim school superintendents jointly running the school district. They were appointed after the former school superintendent, Dean Adams, lost her job and filed a federal claim, amongst other things. And I think he said because somebody cursed at her or say they was going to beat her up and they had to pay some money. And I'm saying that's Ryan, because Ryan is my primary resource. I'm watching a lot of what he says because he likes to talk. And I like it because I can hear some things and I'm like, ooh, right there, ooh, because I need a point of reference. So he's been helping me a lot. So you're going to hear me say his name a lot, especially if I got the information from his page or I felt like, that's what he's been pushing, because I'm going to make sure that people get their original source. Okay? We're not doing no YouTube, that's my content type shit. Okay? We don't need nobody busting guns. Rewind to the first story, okay? We all here in love and unity. Now, moving forward. The school board president, nobody supports Rogers, paid his bail. Disgusting. There, Mayor Mr. Rogers, who was convicted of theft and state benefits fraud in 2004 of a false information on her son's financial aid application prompted her to step down from the school board. She rejoined the school board and was allowed to stay despite her criminal past after she was pardoned by Governor Pat Quinn. These must be working together. Allegedly. As for Mr. Rogers, a 49-year-old woman claimed that she went to the Harvey Municipal Center on the afternoon of August 26, 2016 to meet Rogers on behalf of a friend. Her friend was a poor woman dealing with a raccoon problem at her home. Wow. The victim told Cook County Sheriff Police that since she had known Rogers for 40 years, he worked for the city of Harvey, she thought she might be able to get the city officials to deal with her friend's raccoon problem. Roger had also been married to a relative of the alleged victim. The woman said that she met Rogers. Now, this is where it gets bad, okay? This is where it gets bad. And that's why I told y'all, go make y'all formal complaints. Don't be going to Stan Brown complaining about stuff. I'm like, I got y'all. Just come to me. I'm not saying he's going to be a pedo or rapist. Don't go to them. Fight your shit. Just do it the formal way. These people be trying to get, what you going to do for me? You know what you going to do for me if I help you? You know what I'm saying? Two women said that they met Rogers in the main office, and this is what makes it bad. It was in a public building. Two women said they met Rogers in the main office of Harvey City Hall with other workers present and asked if she could speak to him. Roger allegedly stated, "Yes, let's go to my office." The victim told police that Rogers took her down the hallway, grabbed her right waist, pulled her inside an office, and closed the door. This is about to get ratchet. At this point, Rogers made his intentions clear and began to pull at her clothes. The woman said she tried to get out of the office by running around the long table where Rogers locked the door with a key. Rogers then allegedly tried to actually penetrate the woman after pulling her pants down. This is vulgar, okay? Vulgar, but if it's in a newspaper, we shouldn't get it straight. This is bad. Rogers held her head down as he over the table. She told police, but she stuck her nails into him and mule kicked him with her right foot. Rogers tried again to penetrate her. I'm saying it funny because y'all know it hurts for me to say this. The police report stated, and also attempt to force her to perform actual acts. What is wrong with him? Yo, that is Andrew Holmes number 2. Yo, and you like, all right, one thing to overpower a woman and try to, but he like, all right, I'm just gonna let you go. Come on, do this. You want to do this. That's the same thing that Andrew Holmes did to Miss Aisha. Yeah. The minor. Y'all have a serious problem in the South Side. And I'm going to say one of the things y'all going to have to fix your perception. No more giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry. Especially if they have a history like this. I mean, you know, if somebody run their mouth, their little shoot do, you don't like it. That's different. You don't like your tone. But if they doing like this, no, Harvey, you have a problem. Y'all got my ears itching. That's how much I'm stressing reading this. This is going to be the only article I read because I have a few other up, but I can't even get through this one because it is horrendous. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. This is terrible. It's like I'm having a flashback. And this man is sitting at the meetings every day. Y'all know I'm going to ride him like didn't I see as soon as I saw Tyrone, I didn't like him? I said, oh no, I don't like Tyrone. He's suspect. I don't like him. My spirit told me that. Now I understand. All right. So the victim consented that Roger didn't unlock. Okay, hold on. Let me just move back because it just threw me off. So she mule kicked him. Roger tried again to do it again after being mule kicked, as told by the police, and also attempt to force her to do, you know what. The victim contended that Roger didn't unlock the door and let her out. She stopped at the dollar store and then went to the hospital emergency room where our kit was inspected and was done, and Cook County Sheriff's Police were called. I asked Rogers for a comment at the court hearing, and he referred me to his regular attorney, who was replaced by someone else today to prolong the case. I called the attorney office 3 times and did not get an answer. The Cook County State Attorney sent me a statement claiming our prosecutors have consistently objected to the defendant's request for moments of EM, electronic monitoring. The sheriff's office claimed that it's rarely seen so many release granted of administrative monitoring, which required 3 phone calls a day to keep tabs on the defendant. School administrators point the finger at the school board headed by Mr. Rogers. And is that Raleigh Rogers, y'all? Mrs. Rogers? Is that Miss Raleigh Rogers' wife? Who Miss Rogers? Come on, y'all. Tell me who this is. Let's make these Southside connections. Tell me who this is, y'all. Is that Miss Rogers? Hey, with all the bucks passing going on, maybe this isn't such a big deal. Consider it part of the old not my job movement. I'm done. Okay? I'm done. We were talking about this monster of a man. Now, I'm going to stop right there because I was trying to find a case and the outcome. I can't tell y'all the definitive outcome. I don't care what the outcome is. It's the same thing with the FINNY case. Just to hear the allegations, the circumstances, the way the administration handled it was appalling enough. Harvey, we got a problem. But I will say Harvey residents are on it, as I stated before. Y'all keep fighting a good fight. Now that you have the light on you and you have more than 1 or 2 content creators that's paying attention, that's use the platform to highlight what's going on with you guys, keep on moving forward. So I'm not going to tell y'all what I'm working on. I got a few things up my sleeve, dog. So we will be back. What's today? We'll be back on Friday. And we will be doing an update on Thornton Township, okay? I'm going to be doing a broadcast on Thornton Township on Friday. Please turn your notifications on. Again, I want to remind you, they put a smile on my face. July 27, 2025, we will be hosting, Mama Horror will be hosting the annual Butterfly release, and I will be the person. Hey y'all, I'm gonna get my jokes together. I never told y'all that I want to retire as a stand-up comic. I always said that when I was a little kid. I said I would be an old lady cracking jokes, talking shit. So I get to talk a little bit now, but I am going to be helping Miss Cara host. We will be securing our first set of Butterfly box on Friday, between Friday and Saturday. So I will be making a post with the receipts, okay? We are folding up on our end of the bargain, as well as until July 15th, anything that you give me from last month to that time is going to be donated to the Butterfly release on behalf of you guys. So even if you send me a super chat or you have a membership, I'm putting it together and it's going to account for butterflies that y'all guys purchase. And on that day, I will call your names out and just send love and blessings. So until then, y'all already know what Grace Levi doing down.
Guys, this is Super Mayor Tiffany A. Hilliard, the People's Mayor. So, you guys doing a lot of snitching.
Let my snitching fool you. I love a good jam. And I'm S-I-N-G-L-E again, outside hanging out the window with my wretched ass friends. Let's go!
Okay.
Let's go!
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
I'm Cara Wilson. I'm the mother of Alexis Wilson, killed by Dalton, Illinois police. At the time that my daughter was killed, Tiffany stood in front of a microphone much like this and said that she stood with the cops and they did do the right thing by killing my 19-year-old child. Not only did she not take those words back, she didn't offer her condolences. She's never said anything. The first thing she did was hire this group of security guards to surround her and PR. So the real reason Tiffany has security is hiding from accountability about what she said about Alexis Wilson when she was killed. Now, if you watch the coverage of this murder,
These officers violated her rights, reached in her car, jumped in her car, and put 7 bullets in my child. 2 in her head and 5 down her side. And the next day, you guys tried to spin it like she did something. Watch the video. She did nothing to deserve this. And again, last time they brought up Alexis, she's doing what she does now. Look this way, look that way, every way, but at the person talking. You don't give a damn, and you never did, and you never acted like it. She called out a whole press conference to call my daughter a criminal, and Homewood Flossmoor graduate with no criminal record. But Tiffany, you have one, because we used your mugshot to protest in front of your house, and that's why you hid. That's why you have security.